Theo, strap in tight, because this story's about to take you on a wild ride straight out of a blockbuster flick. Think sirens blaring, lights flashing, and a whole lot of drama. It's a dark night, and those red and blue streaks are cutting through the sky, bouncing off the big, shiny windows of the Evergreen Heights HOA Gala. This is the fancy pants event of the year, where all the neighborhood hotshots gather to sip pricey wine, flaunt their cash, and cheer for their oh-so-perfect rules. But tonight, that party's about to crash harder than a tailgate after a losing game. A tough-looking cop steps up, voice booming over the boss. Karen Thompson, you are under arrest. The room sucks in a breath like they just saw a UFO land. Karen, the big boss, the lady who thinks she's the queen of this ritzy zip code, just stands there, jaw dropped, clutching her fizzy champagne like it's her last lifeline. This is insane, she yells, her tone a mix of shock and pure fire. You've got it all wrong. Nab him instead. She's pointing a shaky finger at Mark, the ex-treasurer, who's over by the buffet, looking like he just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. The cops don't even flinch. They're closing in fast. So how we land in this mess? Let's sit back 12 hours. The Evergreen Heights Gala is the big deal around here. Imagine a room full of rich folks decked out in their Sunday best, swirling overpriced vino, and toasting themselves for running the strictest HOA in the county. Karen's in her element, rocking this ivory dress that probably cost more than my truck, soaking up all the attention like she's the belle of the ball. She's been ruling this place with an iron fist, squashing every gripe, every rebel, anyone dumb enough to question her say-so. Tonight, she's got a cherry to top her sundae of control. She grabs a fork, taps her glass, and the chatter dies down. Ladies and gents, she says, beaming under those golden chandeliers like she's about to drop a mic. Evergreen Heights is the shining star of order and class, and I've got some exciting news. Starting right now, we're hitting you all with a mandatory property upgrade fee to keep this place tip-top. The crowd murmurs, eyebrows shoot up, and Mark's on his feet. See? Karen, we didn't sign off on this. What's the money even for? She flashes him a grin tighter than a drum. Mark, chill out. Your questions don't matter. It's a done deal. His face clouds over. He knows something's fishy, and he's not the only one sniffing trouble. Over by the wall, Sarah, this slick investigative reporter, is sneaky peeking at her phone. She's been hot on a trail of missing HOA cash for months, and tonight, she's brought the receipts. She taps send, and whoosh, the truth's flying faster than a rumor at a family reunion. Turns out, Karen's been treating the HOA bank account like her personal piggy bank. Tens of thousands blown on spa days, designer purses, even a chauffeur, all funded by the folks she's been fining for crooked shutters or unmowed grass. Now the gal is watching her empire shake. Wait, officers, I can clear this up, she shrieks as the cops flank her, her voice climbing higher than a cat in a tree. She spins to the crowd, hunting for a friendly face, but nada. Even Mrs. Linda, her old sidekick, just folds her arms and shakes her head. Mark strides up, waving a fat stack of papers, bank slips, emails, proof of every penny she snatched. Clear this up, Karen. You've been robbing us blind and making us jump through hoops. Her smug mask cracks wide open. You're all turning on me after I made this place perfect? She snaps, voice wobbling like jelly. Someone hollers, we didn't vote for a control freak, Karen. The cuffs come out, and she goes full wildcat, ticking, screaming. You cannot do this. On the HOA press. One cop sighs. Not anymore, ma'am. They haul her out, and the room explodes in cheers. Her crowns hit the floor. The real twist? Sarah's scoops already lighting up the internet. Every dirty dollar on display. By sunrise, the whole world will know Karen's scam. Outside, the street's alive. Neighbors spill out. Phones up. Filming as Karen stands there, white as a ghost, clutching her blazer like it's her last shred of dignity. This has to be a mistake, she stammers, forcing a laugh that fools no one. The cops stone cold, step forward. Karen, embezzlement, fake fines, power grabs. Your little kingdom's taking a huge tumble. Hey y'all, you're not gonna believe how this party popped off. Imagine a crowd buzzing like bees, jaws dropping left and right. Old Mr. John, still rocking his fuzzy slippers, crosses his arms and mutters, "Oh, this is gonna be a show worth watching." Karen's eyes are darting around like a cornered critter, panic sinking in fast. She's been dodging this day forever, but now it's here, slipping away faster than a greased pig. This is a total frame job, she hollers, spinning to face her old fan club. You all know me. I built this place from the ground up. Dead silence. Not one soul pipes up to save her. Then Mrs. Linda steps up, waving her phone like it's a loaded gun. Then, Karen, honey, we've been stacking proof for months. You didn't just mess up the HOA, you turned it into your personal ATM. That playground fund. Funny, I don't see any swings, but I sure spotted a Maui spot trip on the books. The cops perk up, swapping a quick "you hearing this?" glance. Karen lets out this shaky, fake laugh, her cool girl act shattering like a cheap mirror. That was a leadership retreat, okay? Oh yeah? Mark, the ex-treasurer, jumps in, slapping a fat folder of bank records on the table. Then what's this $10,000 for private security and $5,000 to lawyers trying to kick out folks who didn't kiss your ring? The crowd's buzzing now, whispers turning into full-on gasps, heads shaking, some folks nodding like the puzzle just clicked. One cop chuckles. This keeps getting juicier. Karen's breathing like she ran a marathon, realizing she's got no more moves. Her loyal minions are just staring as she crashes. "You cannot do this," she shrieks, shoving past the officers in a wild lunge. But they're pros. Snap her arms back and click those cuffs on tight. The neighborhood lets out a cheer so loud it rattles the windows. "Justice, baby," someone yells. "About time," while another's cracking up, filming every glorious second. They drag her out, heels clacking like a broken metronome, still thrashing and yelling. "I'm the president. You can't touch me." The lead cop smirks. "Not tonight, lady," and slams the squad car door shut. As the car peels off, the street explodes, folks whooping like they just won the Super Bowl. Jake, this pizza guy still clutching his delivery bag, shakes his head. "All this over a pie?" Mr. John claps him on the back. "Kid, you just liberated a whole dang neighborhood." Mrs. Linda grins, shoving a wad of cash in his hand. "For dealing with that nutcase. Well earned." Jake pockets it, tipping his cap, happy to help. The sirens fade, and Evergreen Heights is finally breathing free after years under Karen's thumb. Her bad day's just starting, though. Those cheers are ringing in her ears as she's carted off. The street's alive now, neighbors spilling out, swapping tales of Karen's petty fines and nutty rules. Someone drags out a table, throws chips and sodas on it, dubbing it the HOA Freedom Bash. Phones are up, live streaming the chaos. History's getting made tonight. But while folks party, the HOA board's sweating bullets. Mr. John steps up on the clubhouse porch, waving his arms. "All right, y'all, pipe down a sec." The crowd quiets, eyes locked on him. Karen's out, but she left us a hot mess. We've already dug up $80,000 missing from the books, fines that never checked out, accounts all wonky. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. The vibe shifts from giggles to growls. A lady up front snaps. "I knew it." She hit me with a $200 fine for a flamingo. Another pipes up. "She fined my kid for a lemonade stand." Mrs. Linda snorts. "Community upgrades?" More like Karen's beach fund. Mark, one of the last board holdouts, crosses his arms. "So what now?" Mr. John rubs his forehead. "We're freezing every penny till we figure out this deep dive. Hey yo, hold on to your hats, 'cause this is where the plot thickens like gravy on Thanksgiving." Mr. John's got the crowd buzzing, laying it down. Then we're roping in auditors to chase every last dime Karen pocketed. And when we've got the proof piled high, we're throwing charges at her faster than you can blink. Folks are whooping like they're at a rodeo, fists pumping, heads bobbing, ready to unravel years of her shady shenanigans and snatch their neighborhood back from her claws. This ain't just about waving bye-bye to Karen. It's about tearing down her crooked empire and starting fresh. Meanwhile, across town, Karen's stewing in the back of a cop car, fuming like a kettle left too long on the stove. She's hissing to herself, "This isn't the end of me." Knuckles white from clenching, picturing her old turf turning on her like a pack of wild dogs. But no matter how much she twists and turns in her head, the jig's up, her crown's hit the dirt, and Evergreen Heights is breaking free at last. Over at the station, Karen's stuck in this bleak little room, her high and mighty act crumbling under those flickery lights. Detective Sarah's lounging back, tossing a smirk her way, and slaps a heap of papers on the table. "Let me guess, another whoops," she says, spinning her pen over the stack. Karen's jaw's tighter than a drum. She's talked her way out of tight spots before, sweet-talked the board into ignoring her messes, drowned complainers in rules and dirty looks. But this time, too many eyes are locked on her crash, practically placing bets on it. "Give me my lawyer, now," she snaps, arms folded, trying to pull that old HOA dictator vibe that used to send folks scattering. Sarah's unfazed. "Bun, he's coming, Karen, but I'd wager he's gonna hate wading through this pile." She pushes over a brand new complaint from the revamped HOA squad. Fraud, arm twisting, cash snatching, The full rap sheet. Karen's chest tightens. They cannot pull that off, she stumbles, voice cracking. Sir grins. Oh, they can, and they just did. It's slamming home now. Years of playing Queen Bee, gone like dust in the wind. Back at Evergreen Heights, the emergency meeting's a full-on circus. Folks packed in the community center, voices clashing like a barnyard brawl, half steamed, half stoked. She was robbing us silly, a guy hollers, flapping his overblown HOA bill like a battle flag. She slapped me with a $500 fine for my Benz hogging the curb, an extra hour. A woman fires back, hands on hips. Mr. John throws his hands up, but the room's crackling with heat. We've got your back, he says, firm as a fence post. Auditors are on the way to dig up every dollar Karen swiped, and we'll make her pay it back. The joint goes wild. Cheers, stops. Folks finally tasting a voice after years under her thumb. At the station, Karen's lawyer, Mike, trudges in. Hair patchy, suit sagging, looking like he's ready to bolt. Tyrion, what did you do this time? He sighs, dumping his briefcase. Detective Sarah chuckles, scooping up her files. I'll let you two wrestle this one out. And slips away, leaving Karen staring at her sinking ship. Back home, Mr. John's dropping more bonds. We're talking thousands in cooked-up fines, he says, flipping through the evidence. Phony fees, cash vanishing into thin air. And here's a peach. Karen billed the HOA $5,000 for a leadership retreat. That was really a plush spa trip to Hawaii. The crowd's gasping like they're watching a twist in a movie. I knew it. A fella yells. She fined me for a gnome while she's lounging in paradise. Or chime in. She hiked my fees, fixed zilch. She trashed the swings and kept the loot. Mr. John calms in. We're lawyering up, and every cent's getting tracked. The cheers roll, but Mrs. Linda steps in. Karen's history. Now what? Keep the HOA or torch it. The room goes quiet. Years of her loony rules flashing back. Vote it out, a gal shouts. No more HOA nonsense, another adds. It's picking up steam. We can run our own show. No more power trippers. Mr. John nods with the board. All right, we'll kick it off. HOA's done for. The place lights up, laughs, backslaps, high fives. It's a freedom fest now. Meanwhile, Karen's bad day's just starting. She's glowering behind the counter at Mario's Pizza, stuffed in a red apron. Jake, the delivery kid, waltzes in, grinning ear to ear. Well, ain't this a sight? She snarls, order or buzz off. But he's cracking up at her fresh gig. Hey yo, this one's a real knee slapper. Karen's fall from grace is hitting rock bottom, and I'm here for every second of it. Jake's leaning on the counter at Mario's Pizza, grinning like a fox in a henhouse. Nah, just checking how the community service gig's treating you. 800 hours is a long haul. Sigh. Karen huffs, jabbing the register keys like they owe her money. Trust me, Jake, I'm counting every blasted minute. I'd bet my boots you are, he fires back, smirking. The manager yells, Karen, order up, customers waiting. She spins, grabs a steaming pizza, and shoves it in a box with a face like she's handling roadkill. Jake's soaking it all in. Hey, Karen, you missed something, he says, nodding at the box. She whips around, eyes like lasers. What now? He chuckles. Extra accountability. Goes great with pepperoni. She's shooting daggers, but he's already strolling out, leaving her stewing in a fate worse than any HOA meeting, taking orders from the folks she used to boss around. Over in Evergreen Heights, the party's roaring, cheers and laughs echoing as Karen's reign officially bites the dust. Across town, though, her world's a dumpster fire. She's slumped at her kitchen table, or what's left of it, buried under an avalanche of unpaid bills, foreclosure papers, and HOA lawsuits taller than her ego. Her fancy McMansion, once her throne, feels like a ghost town. Creditors hauled off her ritzy couches, leaving bare floors and echoes. The HOA cash she treated like her personal ATM, now it's under a microscope and a fraud probe. She's clutching the table, staring at her phone, praying for a lifeline that ain't coming. There's gotta be a way out, she snaps into the call, voice wobbling. Her lawyer's sigh crackles through. Karen, you're broke, sued by everyone, and the house is gone. 3 days to pack. Her breath catches. That's not right. I ran this place. He cuts her off. You stole 80 grand, fake fines, and fibbed to the cops. You're lucky it's just eviction. Her nails dig in. I'll lose it all. He pauses, almost soft. You already did. A loud thump rattles her. Someone's at the door. She stumbles over, heart hammering, and yanks it open. Bam. There's a foreclosure notice nailed up, bold as brass. Vacate now. Behind it, past the neighborhood, arms crossed, grinning like cats with cream. Mrs. Linda's front and center, smug as can be. You. Karen chokes out, pale as a sheet. Linda tilts her head. Oh, Karen, we can, and we sure did. The crowd erupts, clapping, whooping, tossing out every petty fine she ever threw at him. Good luck bossing a new HOA around, someone hollers. Karen slams the door, hands shaking. But it's pointless. The house isn't hers anymore. That weekend, Evergreen Heights throws a block bash. Freedom's the theme, and Jake rolls in with pizza, greeted like a rock star. All this over a delivery, he mutters, shaking his head. Linda hands him a shirt. Pizza guy karma. He laughs, tugging it on. This is my new uniform. But Karen? Her new chapter's a doozy. She's stuck at Mario's, drowning in a paper hat and greasy apron. The door swings open, and in struts Jake. Her face twists like she bit a lemon. What do you want? She growls. He grins. Large pepperoni, extra cheese, and skip the sass this time. She slams the order in, knuckles white, receipt hitting the counter like a gunshot. $14.99, she spits. Jake leans in. Ben, and no HOA fine for loitering? Slacking already. Her eye twitches, but she's got no comeback. Power's flipped, and he's loving it. He grabs his pizza, snaps a pic of the sign, now hiring. Ex-HOA Prez for community service, and fires it to the neighborhood chat. Phones light up, laughing emojis. Karma's hot and fresh. Best topping yet. Back in court, Judge Sarah bangs her gavel as cheers explode. Karen's sentenced, no escape. Reporters swarm as she's hauled out. Regret that pizza call yet? Jake's on the steps, waving a pizza box. Extra karma. Tyrann. She snarls, red-faced, as the crowd roars. She's traded her throne for serving pies. Hey yo, buckle up, cause Karen's about to eat a big ol' slice of humble pie, and it's a sight to behold. She's at Mario's Pizza, rag in hand, wiping the counter like it's her last shred of dignity, knowing exactly who's gonna waltz in next. Sure enough, the door jingles, and there's Jake, sipping a soda, grinning like he just won the jackpot. Hey, Karen, how's those 764 hours of community service treating you? She grips that rag so tight it's a miracle it doesn't snap, muttering, I've got every hour burned in my brain, Jake. He takes a big, fake gasp, slurping his drink. Nah, time sure zips when you're giving back, huh? Karen's huffing, barely holding herself back from chucking that soda across the room. You ordering, or just here to torture me again? She snaps, scrubbing a grease spot like it's her mortal enemy. Jake leans in, dragging it out. Give me a large pizza. Make it good this time. Not like when you were too busy playing HOA dictator to cook right. Her eye twitches, but she slams the order in, growling. 20 minutes. He nods. Oh, and crispy crust. Ranch on the side. And cut it even. Perfection's your thing, right? Does it? She snatches a pizza cutter, nearly slicing the counter in half, while Jake chuckles, love the hustle, and saunters off, whistling, leaving her steaming in her own misery. Meanwhile, Evergreen Heights is popping off like a 4th of July bash. Karen's iron grip's gone, and folks are living it up. No more beige boxes or fines for breathing raw. Now it's bright doors, wild gardens, and decorations that'd make her faint. A new sign's up at the entrance. Welcome to Evergreen Heights, Karen-free zone. With a sassy little kicker, fines for Karen's apply. The block party's rocking, barbecue smoke, kids tearing around, neighbors swapping war stories over picnic tables. She fined me $200 for a trampoline. She wanted dogs banned after 6, cause of the smell. I got a nasty gram for Christmas lights past New Year's. Each tale's wilder, ending in laughs and high-fives. Freedom's sweet, y'all. Jake's parked on his car hood, pizza in one hand, phone in the other, cracking up his texts roll in. Karen memes, Mario's pics, the works. Mrs. Linda strolls up, tossing him a shirt that says, Pizza versus HOA. Karma wins. He busts out laughing. This is my new skin. The crowd raises their slices, toasting the guy who toppled their tyrant. All from one delivery. But while the party's hopping, Karen's shift at Mario's wraps up. She yanks off that grimy apron, nails chipped, pride in tatters, just wanting to bolt. She's almost out when a voice stops her cold. Hey, Karen. It's her parole officer, holding a mop and trash bags. You skipped garbage duty. Her eye twitches. You've got to be joking. Nope, he's dead serious. So there she is, under Mario's neon glow, hauling stinky bags to the dumpster, sweeping napkins while folks gawk and whisper. She's mad enough to spit nails, but she's got no juice left. Then the next morning hits her like a truck. City Hall orders her to rip down every HOA sign she ever stuck up. There she goes, in a hideous orange vest, yanking "no gnomes over 12 inches" and "no parking past 2.5 hours" signs out of the ground, grumbling the whole time. And who rolls up? Jake, soda in hand, smirking. "Careful, Karen, don't find yourself now." She spins, glaring. "I hate you." He shrugs. "Yeah, you and your Yelp rating." Months later, Karen's a legend, for all the wrong reasons. Jake's pizza joint's booming. Evergreen Heights is thriving, and her old rules are campfire stories. He spots a new poster at Mario's. "One large pizza. We call the cops before you eat." He snaps a pic, sends it to the crew. Phones blow up with laughing emojis, and "Karma's the best topping," quips. She's not just dethroned, she's a punchline now. So, y'all, that's how one pizza run took down the meanest HOA boss ever. Got a wild HOA tale? Spill it in the comments. Worst Karen moment you've seen. If this saga tickled ya, smash that like button for pizza justice, subscribe for more crazy rides, and share it with anyone who's battled an HOA beast. Never mess with the pizza power. Drop a like if you're Team Karma, subscribe to catch more epic showdowns, and hit the comments with your wildest Karen tale. What's the nuttiest HOA rule you've dodged?